Fellow Kenyans, welcome to my YouTube channel where we positively affect lives, businesses, and the society. Hit the subscribe button. It is all free. Fellow Kenyans, I want you to understand there are three types of workers. As far as our labor laws are concerned, one, we have the casual workers. These are those workers that are paid wages at the end of the day, unless they request otherwise. There is no guarantee of being employed the next day, and therefore the employer has no obligation to overwork to the individual the next day. And of course, the individual is not required to accept the work when offered. For this type of a worker, the contract ends at the end of the day. Then we have the second type of workers who are the fixed-term contract workers. These are those that are employed for a determined fixed period of time, which is more than 1 day. And their entitlement is determined by the terms of contract entered into with the employer or a CBA. Please note, because I want to talk about fixed-term contract workers a bit more, the entitlement is determined by the terms of contract entered into with the employer or a CBA. Then we have the permanent worker. Now, this is one who signs a written employment contract that identifies you as a permanent worker. Please note, the underlying principle of employment is that the relationship between a worker and the employer is based on a contract. Therefore, both the worker and the employer should agree upon the terms of employment before the worker begins his or her term of service. The question is, what type of a worker is an elected leader? Are they casuals? Are they fixed-term contract? Or are they permanent? Type your comment. What type of a worker is an elected leader? According to me, an elected leader is a contract worker. They have a fixed contract of 5 years unless they are recalled. I believe their terms of service are clearly defined before they start working. And I've read in the papers and in the news that their pay is quite good. And once the contract is over after 5 years, it is renewed or not by the people who elected them. Yeah? If you are a contract worker in an organization, when your contract is over, it's the same thing. The employer can renew your contract or not, depending on your performance. And workers who are on contract do not dictate to the employer the terms of service. Yes, elected leaders cannot dictate what to be paid and when. In short, elected leaders must not and cannot dictate their terms of service to their employer, whether before or after employment. If they do, that is called political manipulation. And manipulation is when you skillfully handle or control or use someone or something. And the question therefore is, what are they using to manipulate their employer? Could they be using the powers to pass bills, the powers to pass budgets, even the powers to pass BBI? And by the way, where is SRC in all this? I remember SRC intervened some time back and political manipulation was high. They were told, we will disband you. I've also heard them saying and telling judiciary, we will deny you budget. Hey, What kind of workers are these? It is very sad that when the economy is this bad and COVID-19 is at the peak, what our elected leaders can think about is how to ensure their medical covers are maintained even when they are no longer working. I have heard and I have seen in the papers and in their debates, they want their cover, their medical cover of 10 million inpatient, 300,000 outpatient, 150,000 maternity, and 75,000 dental to continue. They have even passed an allowance of 100,000 shillings per month for those MPs who worked some time back. Wow. I'm just wondering if Mr. President agrees to all these things. Yeah? Then what are we saying? That when I retire, I should be given medical cover by my employer. If I'm fired, I should continue getting some allowance. Will the government afford all this? Imagine that. Yeah? You are fired. You decide what to be paid. You decide that after you're gone, you deserve an allowance. You decide how your employer should pay you. This must be the best job that you can ever do. And by the way, just in case you think you're not paid well, resign and go and do a job where you're paid well. What am I saying? I don't think this is right. And we expect SRC to stand their ground. We all know what the labor law says. Mr. President, over to you. Refuse to be manipulated. God bless you and God bless Kenya.